What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video from Budget Gear. In today's video, we are going to be building us a PC through PC Part Picker. This is going to be a budget PC. Um, Normally, that's what I build is budget PCs, and I'll do anything budget. If it's monitor, if it's a PC, mics, and speaking of mic, if you guys like the audio of this microphone, I will leave a description in the box below. It is a condenser, USB condenser mic. It comes with the stand, mic popper, pretty much everything that you need, and it plugs right into your PC. No additional parts needed for like 30 bucks, including tax from Amazon. Link will be in the description box below. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it and get started on building our PC. So whenever you first get on, and this is typically more for beginners trying to get themselves a PC, it is fairly easy, but if you don't know what you're doing, it could make it that much a little bit more harder, and also knowing kind of what parts to get, what parts to look for. If you are interested in building a PC, there's multiple ways to do it on a budget. This is one of the easiest ways that I can show you on parts that you can even look for that are even used parts. So let's go ahead and get started. First things first, we need to figure out what kind of CPU we want, if we want to go with Intel or if we want to go with AMD. Typically, whenever I build a budget PC, I normally go with AMD because for the money, from what I've seen, I can get more cores, more performance core clock, and just like the boost and the watts that it runs off of. I found AMD to be a little bit more price friendly. So, scrolling down this list here, I see the AMD Ryzen 5 5500. It is a 6 core processor at 3.6 gigahertz. It can be boosted up to 4.2 gigahertz, and it runs about 65 watts. And this one here is priced at $87. Okay, let's see, we can go a little bit lower. Uh, it's looking pretty much the same. We can get a Ryzen 5 3600, same core count, same gigahertz, same boost. Uh, Pretty much almost $10 cheaper here. Let's say if we wanted to get like an Intel, we're looking at an i5 12th gen. Uh, it does have 6 cores, but your gigahertz are a lot lower. So you're looking at 2.5 gigahertz. It can be boosted higher, but starting out, you're gonna be lower gigahertz. And for the money, budget wise, I'm gonna go with the Ryzen 5 3600 CPU. Now, this one does not come with the Wrath cooler, so we do need to get a CPU cooler. And something like this here, we're not going for looks. All we're literally going for is cost effective, right? So let's see here. Now, here is one thing that you guys do want to know is that typically on the less expensive CPU fans, they are a little bit louder, but for the purposes of um, budget, we are going to add this Thermalite Assassin X 120 Refined SE CPU cooler for $17.89. Now we need to get a motherboard. AMD motherboards come with a AM4 CPU socket. Okay, typically on this site, if you pick your CPU as an AMD, it will only load AM4 sockets. If you pick a Intel processor, it will load the LGA sockets. So we have a AMD, so it's already loaded us all the AM4s, so we don't need to check and make sure that it's compatible. It already is. The system already knows. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take into consideration here that, let's say this is a motherboard that we want to keep for a while and just keep adding RAM to it to make it faster, or um, we can just go smaller and get like a 64 gigabyte. Honestly, it might be a little bit extra money, but I recommend getting a motherboard that you don't have to upgrade, especially if you're going to keep the AMD processor. If you change your processor, you got to change your processor and your motherboard. So at least get one that can kind of grow with you a little bit. So we have this. Let me see. So it's either we can go with the Gigabyte B550K, which is $89, or the ASRock B450M. Both are 120 up to 125, 128 gigabytes. Sorry about that. 128 gigabyte DDR4 RAM. So it does have 4 slots in there. Um, and that one there is at 84.51, or we can get a B550M for a few dollars more. So what we'll do is we'll go with the B550M gigabyte um, motherboard for $89.99. Now we got to choose memory. Okay, this is your RAM. Okay, RAM drive is extremely important. So basically, with your RAM, and why it's so important is if you're running a, let's say, Grand Theft Auto 5, well, that's probably, let's say that runs 4 gigabytes of RAM, and you're running Discord, okay, or and you might be running a stream or of some sort. 8 gigabytes worth of RAM is gonna slow down your computer a lot. So we can either go with the 32 gigs, which is $100. Let's say we want to go a little bit lower, right? So look, we have this Corsair Vengeance LPX 16 gigabytes worth of RAM. So you'll get 2 sticks, that's 8 gigabytes each. So you'll end up with a total of 16 gigabytes worth of RAM, which typically, if you buy a pre-built iBuyPower, CyberPower, typically they're going to come with about 16 gigs worth of RAM. Look at this Silicon Power 16 gigabyte DDR4 3200, 2 8 gigabyte sticks for $30, and that's what they're gonna look like. So you can give an extra $10 and get ones that look, a little bit different. It's just kind of depending on the look that you want. Let's see, what are these rip jaws? $34. The rip jaws look pretty decent. 16 gigabyte worth of RAM, 2 sticks of 8 gig, $34. We're gonna go ahead and add that one into our PC. Additional memory that can be added later. The additional memory would be if you was to get 2 more 8 gigabyte sticks to make it 32 gigs, or if you was to add 2 16 gigabytes um, to make it, whatever. You can add your memory however you want. Storage is extremely, extremely important. Okay, because see, we want a storage for all of our applications, our games, Steam, Discord, this, whatever. We want one that goes strictly for that, and then we need another one that is basically going to have our boot drive on it, basically our Windows, right? You want your Windows on its own separate storage. The more you add to that storage with Windows in it, the slower your computer's gonna boot up. So you want your computer to boot up as quick as possible, right? So let's go with, let's see, we can get this 1 terabyte. Let's see here, we can get a 1 terabyte. Let's get us a regular SSD. Where's that Western Digital? There's that one. This Barracuda is 64 and it's a 2 terabyte. That's actually not bad because your storage, you're going to upgrade your storage, yes, but you're also going to keep your storage as well. And for our Windows, we don't need nothing that big. So we're going to go with we want the Barracuda. Let's see here. Western Digital, $46, 1 terabyte. Let's see, that is not an SSD. Yeah, so I think 24 terabytes. Oh my. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go with not that one. We're gonna go with the 2 terabyte uh, Seagate Barracuda. We're gonna add that one, and then we're gonna go back to storage and add an additional storage. Doesn't have to be nothing major. We're gonna lower the capacity down to, let's try to get at least a 200 gigabyte. Let's go to the third page. We gotta go further. 120, a 120 would do. I I would like a little bit more personally. Let's see here. Let's see. SSD. I mean, if Windows is only gonna be on it, I guess we're gonna go back to the third page, and we are going to get. Let's see. We can get that 120 gigabyte. We'll get that one just to put Windows on it. It's 120 gigabytes for 14 bucks. Can't beat it. Let's go with our video card now. So currently, I am running a 1060 NVIDIA GeForce 1060 in my PC, and I have no problems with it. I run GTA just fine. I run Valorant on high settings, Overwatch on high settings. I don't have an issue. GTA, yes, I do have to lower my settings. I can't keep everything on high or ultra, but I mean, a lot of graphics cards still have an issue with it. Uh, Me and my buddy play 5M. He's got a 3060 graphics card, and he still has a little some texture issues. But that then again, that can just be from server. But GTA alone, I still run it on lower settings. But let's say if we was to graphics card is where you're going to spend most of your money. So you can get this RX 6600 for 189, which and it's an 8 gigabyte card, which is more equivalent to probably like a 1080 or some sort. But this is a budget build, so no 4090s, no 40 series. You can get an RX 570 graphics card for 129. It is an 8 gigabyte. I had a RX 570 in one of my previous builds. I didn't really have any issues. I did have to run a lot of games on low settings, but it was a 4 gigabyte graphics card. So that one is one to keep in mind for 129. Let's see here. Before we do choose a graphics card, let's do this. Let's see if we can even get one on here. Let's see, I'm looking for a 1060. Here we go, 1060 6 gigabyte. Let's just see what they're running. 399 4 3. Yeah, so for the money with the, I gotta find it cleared out. For the money, just overall getting a little bit of a bigger graphics card. At this point, you're just starting out. You're not looking for the highest and the greatest, but you do want something that can produce, and this is a graphics card that can produce. There are benchmark testing videos out here on YouTube that show what the RX 580 can do. So we are going to add the RX 580 for 129. Now we need to get a case. And a case is personal preference, really. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to adjust the price to lowest first. You can get one like this for 36 bucks, 38 bucks, 39. You can get that. It's the thing about a PC case is you don't have to keep it forever. So we're just gonna go with the most least expensive. Well, a couple bucks more, we'll get at least a little better looking one. We're gonna go with this tower here for $41.96. And if we have to save $5, we can save $5. And now we're going to get our power supply. So total estimated wattage is 364 watts. So we can get our lower price point here. So starting at $31.99, We can get this 550 watt power supply. There's no efficiency rating. I at least like to stick with a proficiency efficiency rating. This one here is an 80 plus 500 watt, 80 plus bronze. So I guess we're gonna go here with the 80 plus 500 watt. We're estimated wattage at $364. So I think that's that one there. And then an operating system. Okay, if you do not currently have Windows on a drive that you can transfer, then you are gonna have to buy Windows. Okay, so what we'll do is we're gonna change our price here, and $119 is going to be our least expensive Windows, which you can probably go to the site and get it to windows.com, and they might have like a cheaper version, or you might be able to buy a Windows 10 version cheaper or whatnot. But that's 120 bucks. Okay. So we're gonna leave out Windows. That's an extra 120 bucks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go. Basically, we're gonna go back to our builder. Okay, and we're gonna leave Windows out. So basically, with our CPU, our Ryzen 5 3600, our CPU cooler, our B550M motherboard, our 16 gigabytes worth of RAM, 2 terabyte hard drive, and a 120 gigabyte SSD. We got RX 580 graphics card, 8 gigabyte. We have our tower, and we have our power supply, and that's coming in at just $511. Typically, as far as if you're building a complete brand new setup, you don't have a keyboard, you don't have a monitor, you don't have a mouse, you don't have nothing. Keyboards, guess what? You can get the cheapest keyboard possible that you could find at Best Buy, Five Below, Target, Amazon, which I will leave some links in the description box below, just to get you guys a setup. And mic, I am going to leave a description or a link in the description box for the mic that I am currently using. This is how it sounds. If you do like it, I will leave a link in the description for the headphones that I've purchased. I think I gave like 20 bucks, 25 bucks for my headset. But if you add everything all in all, oh, and you can get your monitors. Sometimes they're discounted. I bought a 100 hertz monitor, 24-inch Acer, for 75 bucks. You know, so if you're buying keyboard, headset, mic, monitors, it can get expensive. If you start buying 240 hertz, 144 hertz monitors, that can get expensive. You're typically going to spend about 100 bucks there. But a full PC setup, just a tower, 511, add another 150 bucks, and that's kind of splurging a little bit on a few things. Another 150, 200 bucks. But yeah, guys, there you guys have it. This is a built PC that if you're wanting to build, you need some help building, this is gonna be it. You know what I'm saying? This is a really good starter PC that can get you rolling. And a good thing is that these parts are all interchangeable. Once you build it, you don't got to sell it and build new. You can literally take out your CPU, buy the better AMD Ryzen, sell your Ryzen 5. It can replace your RX 580 with a 2060 or a 3050 or a 4080 and sell your RX 580. But there's a lot that you can do with this PC. It will run games that we do want to play. It will run video editing software. If you're into recording studios and music, you can run FL Studios. With your 16 gigabyte RAM, you can run a significant amount of tracks through FL Studios. But that is all we are going to have for you guys today. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon, get notified whenever we do upload, and we'll see you guys next time.